face right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back to the eSIMstudios live stream. Appreciate you joining us today. Today is Tuesday, April the 7th, 2026. Wanted to jump on a little early before World War III pops off. I know everybody's got their eyes on the 7 o'clock deadline. So, look, this is a non-political YouTube channel, right? We don't really talk politics. We just stick to tech and tech only. But I think everybody's got their eye on the 7 o'clock deadline. So I wanted to provide you with some tech news, some stories before everybody pays attention to what the hell is going on. So we got some interesting stuff going on. I have a deal of the day for everybody set up. I came prepared today. I also started, well, I didn't necessarily start a new YouTube channel, but I started a newer YouTube channel maybe, I don't know, a few months ago, but I started something new today on this channel. So before we get into the news, I wanted to create, every now and then you see there are some live news channels that are live 24/7 on YouTube. I think a lot of them come from India, some world news, but they're based in India, and it's just a continuous stream, right? They have like an hour, 30-minute long news stream, but it loops and loops and loops 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. I want to start a continuous 24/7 live tech channel on news. Now, I went ahead and started it today, literally just before I started this stream right now. I got the news together, compiled some videos. I even have a little intermission in there in between stories. And I'm going to share the channel right now. I'm going to show you what it is. There's a link for it down below. It's perfect. Now, don't take this as I'm not demeaning the channel by any means, but it's good. I was just listening to it while I was getting this stream ready. It'll be good to fall asleep to. I'm not saying it's boring. There's some, look, I hand pick these stories and they're curated by me, not anybody else. So it's stories that you and I like, stuff that we cover here. I just throw it on another channel and it's 24/7. So generally the loop is going to be anywhere, but I think I can upload up to a 10 gig file. So I think the file I compiled today was like 2 gigs. It's like 31 minutes and it's like 5 tech stories in news. That's in the news. It's really cool. It's good to listen to while you're working, doing chores around the house, running errands, falling asleep, whatever, right? Or you just want to throw it on the TV to tech news, right? Yeah, it's a good idea. So I was like, I'll be the first to start it. So there's a link down below. It's on my mobile tech news channel. Let me show you exactly what it looks like. Let's see here. Where's my shared screen? Where is this thing? I think it's this. Duh. So this is the, if I can get the setup, I've changed all sorts of stuff today. This is the YouTube channel I own. I created maybe, I don't know, a few months ago. But today I started it with the intentions of doing a 24/7 live tech news, looping tech news. And I've uploaded a couple videos here and there. But now it's live 24/7 tech news. So let me show you what it looks like. Now, yeah, that's me on there. Now, the videos consist of their AI. Now, I know there's a stigma that comes with AI, but it sounds really cool. It sounds like a real person read it. And again, I'll do anyway, and I'm gonna update it daily. So if you tune in the next day, it's not going to be the same loop. In fact, I might update it continually a couple times a day, right? I'll just plug in a couple more videos and just keep it running and keep it running. Let me show you what this looks like. Of course, I don't have YouTube Premium on this account, but let's see here. So, anyways, once you get past the if you have ads, here we go. Is this it? Is there volume? Can y'all hear it? So we're not gonna watch this. I'm just making sure I can hear it. So we're not gonna watch this. I'm just making sure I can hear it. Let me show you what it sounds like. I have the volume off. There we go. Can y'all hear it now? Oh no, it's not even on.
100% increase in just 2 years. This chart categorizes the tracked extensions, 509 job search tools,
There we go.
plus extensions indicating religious beliefs, political orientations, and neurodivergent support. It also targets 200 rival sales products, including platforms like Apollo, Lucia, and...
It's a good continuous live stream. So if interested, links down below. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to update it daily. It's not monetized yet, but it will be soon. So just getting that going, promoting that. Now, let's get, those are my show notes. We're not supposed to show those. Now, let's, I wanted to, before we get into anything, I want to go and jump to the deal of the day. I told y'all I'm always looking for good deals, especially in the tech world. And I figured, well, why not? Let's do a deal of the day. I'm going to bring you each live stream a fantastic deal, a deal that I might pull the trigger on, except I already have one of these. But that's good news because I know it's a fantastic product. We use it all the time. Got it plugged into our big screen TV in the living room. But what am I talking about? Well, it is the Google TV Streamer 4K. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this is it right here. It is on sale. It is on sale. It is on sale. $79. Normally it's $100. This thing is cool. I use it. We use it every day. It's the official Google TV streamer. Now I know you can go get what are those cheap things from Walmart? The ONN 4K TV streamer. Those are cool because they're cheap, but honestly, they suck. I've had one of those. The reason why they suck is because there's a reason why it's $20. It has a cheap processor, bottom of the barrel processor, always buffers, and it always buffers because it has essentially zero memory. So if it works good for a week or two, then when you start loading apps on it and you start watching this and watching that, it starts to buffer. So this took care of all the buffering. This thing's never even buffered once since we've had it. And the other good thing is security. So the ONN brand, not putting them down. If they want to sponsor the show, I'd be more than happy to set them up with a sponsorship. But it's a Chinese manufactured product. And you never look, for the most part, it should be okay on security. But this is essentially the Pixel of TV streamers. It's owned by Google. It's manufactured by Google. It's produced by Google. It's updated by Google. This is like the Pixel of 4K streamers. It gets monthly security patch updates just like Pixel devices. In fact, I just updated ours last night to the April security patch. So you're going to have top-notch security. And look, you put your card details in there to order TV shows, movies, what have you. You don't want to have a product that's made somewhere else where you might, be a little worried of putting your payment information in there. Not this. This is fantastic. It's on sale, $80. It's 20% off. This thing is freaking cool. Google TV operating system. It's got high-speed Ethernet port, USB Type-C, HDMI. It's got a voice-activated remote. It pairs, like it says, pairs perfect with your Pixel and your Pixel Buds. And how cool is that for spatial audio? This thing, you literally use it every single day. It's fantastic. So when I saw this on sale, I was like, oh, we got to go with that. It's fantastic. And look, it's got essentially perfect scores. Look at these ratings. So if you want to pick one up, link is down below in the description. It's the deal of the day tab. Definitely go check that out. Now, as we move on, as we proceed, let's see here. Let's do this. So we covered yesterday, the news in regards to the new iPhone Fold. It was just ironic. I was saying yesterday, what are they going to name this thing? The iPhone Fold, iPhone Flip, iPhone Flex. We didn't know. And ironically, the official name leaked today. And sort of uncharted territories, because typically, as we mentioned yesterday as well, Samsung loves to copy Apple in almost everything they do, and it's pathetic, honestly, and it needs to stop, Samsung. But this time around, seems like Apple is copying Samsung. Now, what am I talking about? Well, the iPhone Fold is officially going to be named iPhone Ultra. That's right, iPhone Ultra. Now, it's not going to look like this. This is one of the very first mock-ups we got of this iPhone Ultra. I'm going to have to get used to saying iPhone Ultra, not the S26, not the Samsung Ultra. No. This is the iPhone Ultra. That's the name. It leaked today. Not only did the name leak for this, we have official dummy units, official mock-ups, meaning these are the units that Apple is going to send to the case makers so they can make cases. One of the reasons why there were essentially no cases for this Nothing Phone 4a Pro when it came out is because they did not send these to the case makers before the launch date. The big named companies, Samsung, Apple, they will send a mock-up, a dummy unit to Spigen. They'll send a dummy unit to Arinki. They'll send a dummy unit to, I don't know, Nilkin, Caseology. All the big name case makers will get a dummy unit, and then they can mold their case, Thinborn. They can mold their case around this dummy unit, so when the phone launches, cases are ready day one, right? How many times, just like for this S26 Ultra, as soon as it came out, as soon as it was announced, boom, you can jump. In fact, there were cases for this S26 Ultra on Amazon a couple weeks before the phone was even announced. So that's how that works, right? And apparently Apple has got dummy units for not just the iPhone Ultra, but for the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max. So if you want to see what it's officially going to look like, let me pull it up. So here we go. That's the iPhone 18 Pro Max on the left, the iPhone Ultra in the middle, and the iPhone 18 Pro on the right. Now, it looks a little different from the very first, and also I have a video too, so we're going to show that as well. But it looks a little different than what we first laid our eyes on from that first picture that I put up. This one right here, this one's a little taller, a little skinnier, almost a mini Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 when it's opened up. This one's going to be wider, like the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold wide that we were checking. So it's going to be wider. It's going to have a wider aspect ratio. and they're gonna sort of keep a iPhone Air like camera unit, camera island on the back. They're gonna throw in a second camera, but it's gonna be razor thin. I believe it's going to be 5.5 millimeters thin. That's pretty freaking thin. I mean, insane thin. Now, before we go into the video, look at the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. Does it look like their islands got a little taller, a little bigger? I just got word too that Apple's actually increasing the battery sizes on these units, and the devices are actually going to be a tad bit thicker, 0.1 millimeters thicker across the entire lineup. Well, I guess the 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max. The iPhone 18 and 18 Plus are not coming out until next year. But let me show you the thickness of these. I got a picture right here that'll show you just how thin this is. That's the Pro Max. We'll jump into the video. That's a still photo, but here's the Pro Max on the right and the iPhone Ultra on the left. Let's get into this video and I'll show you exactly what we're dealing with here. So this is a video of the dummy units that somebody got their hands on, a case company. I'm sure Apple's not happy about that, but you can see the iPhone Ultra is just as thick folded as an 18 Pro Max, and when it's opened up, it's essentially going to be half the width of the Ultra. So if the Ultra is, I don't know, if the Pro Max is going to be 8.9, almost 9 millimeters thick, that's a thick phone. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be big. I think this one's going to be 5 millimeters thin when it's open. So probably when it's folded, just slightly larger when it's folded closed than the 18 Pro Max on the right. But as much as people are getting excited about this iPhone Ultra, I think it's getting me even a little more excited for the Z Fold Wide, Samsung's wide unit, right? Very excited for that. Let's see here. Let's see here. There's now getting to the launch of this iPhone Ultra. There's been some confusion. So there's significant confusion, some conflicting reports about the name that was finalized today. The official name is going to be iPhone Ultra, but there was further uncertainty around the launch timeline of this device. Some sources were saying it was going to be delayed into December of this year due to issues with the hinge selection. As you know, well, you may not know, Apple has a brand new hinge on this foldable device. Apple patented this hinge, meaning it's all brand new. It's all brand new design, all brand new technology. And getting that patent took a little extra time, a little longer than they had expected, which theoretically you could push back the launch date. We've gotten word that it's right on schedule. There was a couple of reports saying that it's going to be delayed. Now that hinge is liquid metal and it has 3D printed titanium parts within that liquid metal design. Very cool. I actually am going to pull up when those patents get produced, when they're published. I'm going to bring them and show you how they designed this new hinge. It looks freaking incredible. If you like tech stuff, design stuff, it's really interesting how Apple engineers got this to be a crease-free design. Remember, this is going to be a crease-free design, the very first one. Now, I know the Oppo Find N6, the one Flossie Carter reviewed yesterday, the crease is almost gone. I was watching that yesterday. It's almost gone. There's like, I don't know, there's a tiny crease. When you look at it in the light in certain angles, you can still see a crease. It's essentially gone, but it's not completely gone. This is supposed to be completely gone. So we'll have to see if other phone manufacturers copy that or try to copy, right? Patent it so you can't copy it, but they can pay Apple to use that technology on their devices. We'll have to see where this goes with companies like Samsung, with Oppo. I have a feeling that, well, Samsung might pay Apple for that. I don't think Oppo will. I think Oppo looks like they almost have it figured out by the release of this Find N6. There are reports, including from one leaker with CAD renders, computer-aided design renders, that indicates the foldable device will launch as planned in September alongside the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, despite some of the other rumors going around that it was going to be delayed until December. Now, we'll take everything with a grain of salt, but I think it's going to be launched in September. They're, again, reportedly aiming for a base price around $2,000. That's just for the base model. It's going to run a modified version of iOS. It's going to be officially iOS, but it's going to feature iPad-like layouts, multitasking capabilities, home screens, widgets, and a simpler system than iPad OS 26. So it'll officially run iOS, not iPad OS. Now, key hardware details include a side-mounted Touch ID instead of Face ID, dual rear camera setup, and an eSIM-only variant. So it looks like they're not going to put SIM card capabilities, physical SIM card capabilities, inside this device. We don't expect them to, although Apple does still have SIM cards, right? I think on their global models. Now, I think they're slowly transforming into eSIM only across all units across the world. But from what I understand, even the iPhone Ultras that are going to be sold around the world, all of them are going to be eSIM because everything's crammed into this little tiny space. They just don't have room for physical SIM trays anymore. So we will definitely keep an eye on this and keep you updated with all the important information with the new iPhone Ultra. That's right, new name, iPhone Ultra. Now, speaking of Apple, they ran into a funny conundrum. There was this report that Apple ran out of chips. Yes, Apple ran out of chips. So if you're unaware, Apple released the MacBook Neo recently. It's their low-cost MacBook. I think they start out at $500, and it essentially runs on bare bones or I shouldn't say bare bones, but bottom of the barrel specs. And maybe that's not even fair to say because looking at it, it's pretty basic. But it's not. I think it has 8 gigs of RAM. It has a iPhone CPU that they essentially ran out of. It's got it's for people that just browse the web and do basic office work. It's not meant for multimedia creation, editing videos, definitely not gaming. But a iPhone CPU should be able to run a desktop-like experience. I mean, look, our chips that are in these Samsung phones, plenty powerful to run a desktop experience. So Apple ran into a chip shortage dilemma for this Neo. They've sold so many units, they're out of chips. So Apple is reportedly facing a significant shortage of A18 Pro, uh, which were utilized in the affordable MacBook Neo by using bind versions with a 5-core GPU instead of a 6-core configuration found in the iPhone 16 series. The scarcity of this A18 Pro chip presents Apple with a difficult decision. So either halt production and limit sales, which I know they don't want to do, potentially sacrificing profit margins, or resume chip production, which would be more expensive due to the prices of TSMC operating at maximum capacity. So they're actually thinking, should we halt sales on this? And I know they're not going to do that. So this is what they're going to be forced to do. Is resume production of the A18 Pro chipsets, meaning go back to TMC, tell them, hey, remember that A18 Pro that we had you manufacture a couple years ago? Yeah, well, we need like 20 million more of those. Now, this is a major issue because the request for resuming production of the A18 Pro for this MacBook Neo would necessitate Apple paying full price for each new chipset from TSMC, as the semiconductor manufacturer is unlikely to put everything else on hold just for Apple. However, Apple is their biggest client. So at the moment, TSMC, they're continually building and constructing more fabs, more chip manufacturing plants. Arizona, where else? I think out in New Jersey, maybe, but definitely in Arizona. All their orders are filled up for like 3 years. So I don't know where Apple fits into this equation. They may have to manufacture them back in Taiwan. I don't know. But Apple essentially had a stockpile of these chipsets in the warehouse and had a brilliant idea. Well, the A18 should be plenty powerful, right? To power a MacBook, right? Yeah. Let's test it out. Sure enough, it is. Now, I haven't used one before, but I've watched a review or two. It looks like it handles everything fine. But again, they sold so many of them that they ran out of chips. So now they're going to have to pay full price, meaning they don't get a discount from TSMC, which in turn might increase the price of the MacBook Neo in the near future. If you were planning, here's my pro tip. If you were eyeing this device, if you were thinking, should I get one? Should I not? I might hold on for, 6 months and then get it, or wait till my kid goes into the fall semester and then I'll get him or her this MacBook Neo. My advice to you, or maybe that's you yourself, maybe you wanted one, I would get one now, because if Apple's going to pay full price, going back to manufacturing more of these A18 Pro chipsets, they're going to increase the cost of the price. Apple doesn't cut, Apple's not going to reduce profit margins for their customers or for anybody. So they're going to raise the price. Now, how much are they going to raise the price? I don't know. Maybe 20, maybe 50, maybe $100. So, it might be a good, or they might sell out, because either way, you're going to get gypped, right? You're going to have to pay more if you buy one 6 months from now, whatever, a year from now, or it's going to be sold out. And then you're going to really have to pay higher prices to find a used one on the aftermarket, right? Go to Facebook Marketplace, Swappa, wherever else, OfferUp, Mercari. The price of these are going to go up. So if you are in the market for one, I would just get one right now, quite honestly, because you're going to save yourself a headache later. Trust me on that one. Just an interesting dilemma, a good problem to have if you're Apple, that you find yourself in, right? You sell so many products, you run out of stock. But they just launched these like a month or two, or when was it? A few months ago. and they're already selling out. So, insane. Yeah, the iPhone Fold, which is now called officially iPhone Ultra, is coming out in September. Yes, it sure is. Hey, how's it going? iPhone news. Yeah, don't have a lot. We don't, as you know, you've viewing the channel for a long time now, but not, you know, not big on Apple news, iPhone news, but we got some big news today. How's it going? Appreciate you joining us today. What's going on, brother? I'm so tempted to get the Oppo N6 Global instead of waiting for the Fold 8. Yeah, me too. In my opinion, I would get the Oppo. And for one thing, if the crease bothers you, you're definitely going to want to get the Oppo. And for another thing, the camera sensors are way better on the Oppo. Way better than on the Fold. Way better. And just for that fact alone, you might want to grab one. Now, before I got some interesting news here, before I get into this next story, let me grab a hoodie. I'm freezing. I'm literally shaking. It's so cold up in here. Hang on. I know my AC bill is going to be a pain in the ass. All right, I'm back. Yeah, and maybe here in a second, maybe we'll look at the specs on that Oppo Find N6 real quick. Let me hit this other story real quick, and we'll look at the specs. We'll go through the specs. Cold up in here, like that. Speaking of iPhone, okay. All right. Yeah, we'll look at the specs from the Oppo. Now, did you see this? So we went through the chip shortage. We went through the iPhone Ultra. It's going to take me a while to remember that. iPhone Ultra. I'm going to have to tattoo that in my brain. Did you see? So we got two things left, and we'll check the specs out. Did you see the record profits Samsung made? Insane. So we'll hit this real quick. So look at this chart. So Samsung shares surged. Record profits forecasted, driven by AI chip demand. Yes, AI chip demand has Samsung profits skyrocketing. And again, it seems like, and I didn't plan this out, it seems like yesterday we were just talking about the S27 Pro from Samsung, that new model they're going to come out with next year. We were just talking about them, how they're in crisis management mode, and hopefully on that Pro they'll bring us all top of the line specs, but I don't know if they will, because their profit margins are real slim. They're trying to pinch pennies and save money here, save money there. And then today we find out they made damn near $40 billion in the last 3 months. What? I saw this. I literally like adjusted my eyes and was like, am I reading that right? So get this. Samsung Electronics shares, they saw a significant rise after the company projected an 8-fold increase in operating profits for the first quarter, reaching an estimated $37.8 billion with a B dollars, driven by the booming demand for artificial intelligence chips, particularly high bandwidth memory chips. This projected profit would set a new quarterly record for Samsung, nearly tripling its previous high and surpassing analysts' expectations. With consolidated revenue also anticipated to surge by nearly 70% year on year, Samsung made more money. Check this out. Samsung made more money in the last 3 months than they did the entire year of 2025. 3 months blew away the entire 12 months combined last year. So if this keeps up, they're going to see record profits for the history of the company in the entire year, fiscal year of 2026. These are insane numbers. Now, a lot of look, if you've purchased any memory devices, RAM, storage, anything like that, or if you've look to buy some memory, it's insane. It's absolutely crazy how high memory prices have gotten. I was looking to buy a little memory, a little M.2 SSD memory stick, and I haven't looked in maybe, I don't know, a few months. Prices have like tripled just in months. It is mind-blowing, the price increases of this. Samsung's benefiting from it because they manufacture and sell a ton of memory, all sorts of products and all sorts of different technologies. They have memory for phones, they have memories for computers, they make memory for car chips. I mean, it's insane. The strong performance is largely attributed to Samsung's memory chip business and its efforts to regain a leading position in the high bandwidth memory market, although potential disruptions from the ongoing Middle East conflict pose a risk to semiconductor manufacturing supply chains. We'll see where that goes. Obviously, I'm sure we'll have, well, I don't know where we're going to go after tonight, but, look, that's going to be an issue, but the demand for it's not going to go away. So Samsung will be sitting in their seat just fine. Manufacturing them may be another story, but the demand's always going to be there. It's never going away. Never going away. Now, before we get into the specs of the Oppo Find N6, we got infos on the new chip that's going to power the upcoming Samsung Galaxy S27 Pro that just leaked yesterday. If you're interested, if you want to take a deep dive into the S27 Pro, sounds really nice, check out my YouTube channel. Go to the video section and you'll see the thumbnail that I uploaded yesterday in regards to the S27 Pro. Looks pretty freaking cool. This new chip is going to be powering that S27 Pro. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro leaks. Now, this is not going to blow your socks off. You know how every year, or at least for the last 3 or 4 years, whenever we get the new gen flagship CPU, especially from Qualcomm, we're like, holy crap, it's blowing away. Just last year's top of the line CPU. They continually, every year, they just big time leapfrog performance gains. This year, a different story, but don't be fooled. So a new link suggests Qualcomm's upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro, again, changing the names on us again and again. Shit is confusing. So sometimes I'll be stumbling over my words because I can't remember all the freaking names that are going through my head, which one to pick. This new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro, expected in September, may offer modest CPU gains of just under about 20% over the current Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, despite its new smaller 2nm process node, indicating potential practical limits for smartphone CPUs with thermal constraints. Now, instead of prioritizing CPU performance, the chip is rumored to heavily focus on GPU and AI enhancements, featuring a newly redesigned Adreno A50 GPU. It's got increased cache and support for faster LPDDR6 RAM, aiming for noticeable improvements. You're going to see big improvements, not notable improvements. You're going to see big performance gains when it comes to the GPU. That's where they're going to hit you with the big gains. Again, 18 to 19% better than our current one. But when it comes to the GPU, that's where you're going to see huge improvements. So it's going to be perfect for gaming. It's going to be perfect for any AI tasks that you have. If you're a gamer, if you edit videos on your phone, like me, you're gonna love this chip. And it's going to be better on heat and efficiency. It's going to be on a smaller 2 nanometer. Remember, this current one is on a 3 nanometer, so it's going to be more efficient. It's just going to run awesome. Now, this new 80 Elite Gen 6 Pro looks like they're going to adopt the 2+3+3 CPU core configuration for better efficiency and sustained performance. A strategy similar to MediaTek's upcoming Dimensity 9600. Now, it's suggesting a trend towards prioritizing graphics and AI in future high-end flagship smartphones and their chips. It's interesting because the MediaTek Dimensity 9600 CPU is moving to a 2 nanometer. That's where all the latest and greatest is headed. And they have a 2+3+3 CPU core configuration, MediaTek, and it looks like Qualcomm's going to do that same configuration on their Snapdragon 80 Elite Gen 6 Pro. Why that matters, I don't know. They're the experts. Look, if it works out for them, it works out for me. So I couldn't tell you why, just to be honest with you, but that looks like the route to go. So this will be in the all upcoming future flagship phones, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that. I'm still let's say about a year away. It is going to launch in September. The interesting thing is Snapdragon always comes out, well, not always, I think it was right around December last year with the S25 Ultra. They launched theirs in September, and remember, the OnePlus 13 had the very first phone with the Snapdragon 80 Elite, and the OnePlus 15 this year was the very first phone with the Snapdragon 80 Elite Gen 5. Now, could there be a OnePlus 16? I think so. The OnePlus is not officially dead, but it's only going to be released in China. And if you still want to get it, I wouldn't recommend it because there's no Oxygen OS version, and the bands, the 5G bands, probably not going to work here that great. So, but I was trying to think. So I wonder what's going to be the first phone with the new Snapdragon CPU. If OnePlus always used to have it, I think Xiaomi, if I'm not mistaken, they always have one of the very first phones with the latest upcoming Snapdragon CPU, but it's not released globally, I don't think. It'll be interesting. It could be the OnePlus 16, right? But it would be just released in China, sort of like Xiaomi. So I guess the very next device that we would get it in is probably the S27 series. Now, probably gonna have to wait till February to, good 10 or 11 months till that comes out. So it's gonna be a while, but if you like this stuff like I do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna, as soon as we get updates every couple of months leading up to the launch of this, we'll definitely, I'm sure they're gonna leak out benchmark results, testing results from this, and I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeves. Yeah. What is going on? Why is there a MacBook Neo on the screen? Are you thinking about getting one? The answer would be no. I was just saying, Apple maybe you missed the story. Apple finds themselves in a very good problem to have, in a dilemma. As popular as the MacBook Neo is and or was, they've run out of chips. They've sold so many MacBook Neos, they don't have any more CPUs. Remember, they're using that A18 Pro CPU from the iPhone 16. They had a ton of them, millions of them, in the warehouse. Had to get rid of them. So somebody in Apple had a great idea. Let's throw them in a MacBook. It should be able to run everything. What do you know? It did, and they sold them, and they sold a lot of them. Now, what they're going to have to do is go back to TSMC and say, hey, remember those A18 Pros you made for us a couple years ago? Yeah, we need like 20 million more. So they're gonna have to pay full price this time, which I said, if you were thinking about getting a MacBook Neo, like, for yourself, child going to college, high school, whatever, and let's just say you're thinking about getting one in 6 months. I'll get one when my daughter, starts school for the fall semester. I'll just get her a new MacBook then. I would do it now because I was saying that's going to jack the price up. If Apple has to pay more to make more of these A18 Pros from TSMC, because remember, when Apple made these A18 Pros, the price was way under what it is right now. Prices in the last 2 years skyrocketed, made double. So it's going to cost Apple a lot more to make more of these CPUs. And you can trust and believe Apple is going to pass that price increase on to you, the consumer. So we're anticipating the prices of the MacBook Neos to go up. So that's what I was saying. If you're in the market, I would just get it now instead of later, because I think we're going to see a price increase on the MacBook Neo. Now, how much of a price increase? Who knows? I don't know. Could be $20, could be $100. We just don't know. But I can guarantee you it's going to go up. Not to mention, the price of these are going to go up on an aftermarket too. Like the price for a used one, if what happens when supply and demand, right? Supply is low, demand is high, price goes way up. So you could price, if you go on Swappa, Facebook Marketplace looking for a MacBook Neo, if you find a good deal on one, I would get one quick. And you could even find yourself in a rare position where you could almost find yourself in a MacBook Neo investment, which is rare because typically these material items decrease in value over time. If the supply is low, demand is high, you could buy one now, wait 3 or 4 months when they're really, really sold out, because I think they still have some that are in the larger storage configuration for sale. And even if they have some that are in the smaller storage configurations for sale, I can guarantee you they're running super low. You could even buy one now, sit on it for a few months, and then sell it and make a $100, $200 profit. It's always an idea. But yeah, that's why I have a MacBook up on my screen. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you joining us today. Bradley, what's up, man? These chip companies are starting to hit a wall. 2 nanometers getting very close to the limit. I know. When are they going to stop? Like, when are they going to find that sweet spot? I think I saw 1.4. Who was it? TSMC. I think it was TSMC. They've already started building fabs to get ready to anticipate for the 1.4 nanometer orders. Now, TSMC has to plan years in advance, but probably a week or two ago that I saw this. They've already started construction on buildings, on fabrication buildings that are going to produce 1.4 nanometer CPUs. And then I was thinking, well, damn, are we going to go down to 1 nanometer? Is it going to go down to 0.5 nanometers? I mean, obviously you can't go to 0 nanometers. So I know, I'm like, where's this going in the next few years? Like, how small are we? At some point, you're not gonna be able to get any smaller. But 1.4, I've heard there's already people wanting orders for 1.4 nanometers for future projects. So that's how crazy the chip market is right now. It's insane. Now, a lot of the stuff going on in the Middle East, I didn't even know this. The helium that they use, that actually it's a vital ingredient for making these CPUs. So if the helium supply gets disrupted, you can see how it trickles down to the manufacturing of these CPUs. And if that gets disrupted, phone sales get disrupted, right? So, but yeah, we'll see. GPU performance can be jacked up a lot though too. Yeah, on the benchmark stuff, you mean? Yeah. And did y'all see, I'm not sure if you joined me late, the new the new iPhone Ultra. So we officially have a name now. It's called iPhone Ultra. And there's your dummy unit. So that's what it's going to look like. It's alongside the iPhone 18 Pro Max on the left, iPhone 18 Pro on the right, with your iPhone Ultra smack dab in the middle. And if you did not see this picture, this video, I'll show it to you right now. That's the iPhone 18 Pro Max and the iPhone Ultra right there. Dummy units and all. It even opens up, folds open. Now, if you just joined us too late, before we get into the, what time is it? Oh shit, it's almost go time. I started a new continuous live 24/7 technology news channel. It's a link down below in the description box. It's called Mobile Tech News. Clever name, right? It took me a long time to come up with that. But there's no 24/7 continuous live tech news stream on YouTube. So I thought, why not? I'll be the first. So let me show you what it looks like. And there's a link down below in the description box for this channel. Let's see here. Let me remove this. Let me add this. Here it is right here. We are live. See, I'm live and I'm doing this live. So I'm going to update the video every day, every 24 hours. And it's like a 30-minute to an hour of 4, 5, 6 tech stories that are in the news that day. I'm going to refresh the news stories every day and it just loops 24/7. So link down below. Now, real quick before we get out of here, let's look up the Find in 6 specs. Let's see. I have so many names going through my head, like phone technology devices and all sorts of names, and people like companies like Qualcomm keep on changing the names of their products, and Apple changing the names of their products. I don't know what the hell is going on. Let's see here. Oppo Find in 6. So we got released March 20th, 225 grams, not too heavy. Geez, 4.2 millimeters thick. Or should I say thin? That's thin. So you got 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. No SD card slot. Yeah, we knew that. Let's see. Wow. That is crazy thin. Let's look at these specs. Because somebody brought up a good question. Should they get this or the Galaxy Z Fold 8? Now, I said this. I think they should get this, if you're wondering. But we already know what the Fold 8 is going to be. It's going to be a refresh. The only thing it's going to have new inside is the processor, honestly. The display is going to stay the same. The battery might increase by 1%. Memory is going to stay the same. Sensors are going to stay the same. Charging, all that. I think they might increase the charging. I take that back. They might increase the charging by 5 or 10 watts speed-wise. But yeah, this N6 is very sweet. Let's look at these real quick before we get out of here. So we will have aircraft grade aluminum, foldable. Okay. Ooh, it's going to have a 10-bit display. Something that the Fold 8 will not have. 120 hertz, PWM management, HDR10 plus, HDR Vivid, 2500 nits peak brightness. Zero field crease. Oh shit, it's got stylus support. Both screens. Yo, that is a huge plus. Because that's something, as everybody knows, Samsung took off of their Fold series. Oh man. They're killing Samsung. They're killing Samsung. It's going to have stylus support. How cool is that? In something that thin, that's why Samsung took stylus support out of their Fold 7, is because they had to take that digitizer layer out from underneath the display, the layer that detects the tip of the S Pen. It was so thin they had to take that out of there. This is thin and it has the digitizer under the display for stylus. Let's see here. Okay. UFS storage 4.1. I can guarantee you Samsung only is going to put 4.0. 200 megapixel. 50 megapixel. 50 megapixel. Hasselblad color calibration. 4K 30 60 120. 1080p 30 60 120 240. HDR10 plus. It'll also have a 20 megapixel and a 20 megapixel front facing camera. Interesting. 4K 30 frames per second, 1080p 30, stereo speakers, Wi-Fi 7, display type 3.1, fingerprint side mounted, lithium ion 6000 milliamp hour battery, 80 watt wired, 50 watt wireless. This is sweet. This looks like a no-brainer. Pretty freaking awesome. Just in the last half of the specs that I read off right now, just those alone blow away the Galaxy, the Samsung Fold 8, Z Fold 8. UFS storage, a 10-bit display, the 6000 milliamp per hour silicon carbon battery. It's going to charge super fast. It's going to last super long. Cameras are going to be top notch. Man, where can I get one of these? I've never had an Oppo phone, but they had their website here. I wonder, you can't order them, can you? You don't believe that? You don't believe this? But I always get my specs from GSM Marino. I believe it. I mean, are they 100% right 100% of the time? No, but honestly, I can't remember a time where their specs were wrong. I mean, like, they're not perfect, right? But they're pretty rock solid. Let's see. Yeah, there's no buy button here. Ooh. That is insane. Ultra flat, ultra flexible, ultra powerful. Damn, that is awesome. Let's see. .9 millimeters thin, 225 grams, pocket workstation, free flow window, Oppo AI pin, AI mind space. Every detail iconic, ultra clear camera, 200 megapixel Hasselblad. That is crazy. Well, what do you know? Perfect timing. I gotta roll. So I appreciate the time. Thank you very much. And remember, links down below. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace. This is the wife. I gotta go. I'll see y'all tomorrow. It's that time of the night.